It's May 15th, Friday, and as promised, I'm going to do a little video tour of the garden. Bruce has planted his begonias on the back porch, which he just loves. And we've got the house plants out on the back porch. There's the ponytail palm. And I think the porch is about 3 years old right now. So the beds around the porch, the shade beds, are just going crazy. Here's our potted plants. He got some petunias. I talked him into getting some petunias to spill over. Hopefully the heat won't kill them later in the summer. So the camellias are getting huge. They've been here for a while now. And because we've got it fenced in now, we've added our hostas. So he's getting a few more hostas each year. The bed at the back of the screen room is getting really crazy. The columbine this year, they seeded themselves and filled in the bed. They were blooming wildly a little while ago. Now they're just going to seed. He's going to save the seeds. We've got the pink and the purple, and I've just started some red. The astilbe are coming up in the bed, and the hostas there are peeking through. This is a crazy camellia. It's kind of gnarly. It's small, but it's growing. It's buried by the heliobores, the Lenten roses right now, which are also very happy this year. Our variegated dogwood, which we replanted from the front bed because it got too much sun there, is just loving it back here. And the milkweed is starting to come up. This is the one that has seeded all the ones you'll see in the back. Over here in the shadiest spot, I've got my little fern garden. So I've got a couple of creeping ferns, which I just love. And the fern back in the corner is a native. And then, of course, the monster elephant ears. The herb garden, very green and loving it. There's the edible sage in front, and then that real pretty red blooming sage in back that the hummingbirds and the bees love all of this. This bed's gone fallow on purpose. Bruce is going to plant a artichoke there, just mostly for the greenery and having it bloom. We're not sure we'll get any artichokes. We've got mint and my weeping redbud and my creeping or prostrate rosemary, which is my favorite type of rosemary. It was supposed to be a creeping rosemary in the front yard, but you'll see it's not. This is my thyme, the edible thyme. I just dried a bunch for the kitchen. It's really happy this year too. I think it finally got a root hold. Going around the edge of the fence, you'll see our new garden. This garden is planned to be mostly iris, so we'll order those to plant in the fall. Right now we've got some ground cover, a few of the iris we already had. We have 2 viburnum. They're the snowballs, and one of them has kind of a maple-shaped leaf and smaller snowballs. And then the other one has this really neat leathery foliage, which I love. And its snowballs are about 5 or 6 inches across. We've got a few hens and chicks, and just plan to fill it in with iris and sort of be almost a rock garden. I've also got my pomegranate over here, which has gone crazy this year. It's 7 years old. It's been in this pot for 7 years. It didn't like being on the porch because it didn't get enough heat and sun. But against the building here, it just really loves it. So I'm very happy because I love my little pomegranate. All right, I'm going to go out the back fence. We decided to fill in some understory. So Bruce had been keeping the poison oak and the invasives out of the forest, but that meant we didn't have any understory. So too much sun is getting in the forest, and that means lots of vines. It likes to be shady, and the birds like it too. So we picked out some native plants, small trees and big shrubs, natives, and we've planted them along the border of the forest here. So we've got beautyberry, serviceberry, a couple of others I can't remember the names of. We planted them a couple months ago, but they all seem to be sprouting out, so that's good news. I think we got about 20 of them all told. I hauled the dirt, and Bruce dug holes, so it was a joint effort. Most of this gardening is Bruce, of course. So like I say, we planted about 20 of them, and hopefully the birds and the bees will love them, and we won't have so many invasive species coming in because of all the sun that the forest gets. So I'm walking around the edge. Let me go over and show you his new rain garden. So the property all drains down to this little corner of the garden, and he's taken some of our fallen trees and made a little bit of a dam and started a rain garden. So we've got some Siberian iris in it. And I'll pause here so the camera catches up with me. So the Siberian iris, an elephant ear, and it's just waiting for all the natural water to come down here. And I think there's a couple of beautyberries in back. So this will be fun to see how it develops. I guess it depends on how much rain we get. Around the edge here are milkweeds, which are just beginning to sprout. Come up here, there's some that are sprouting. A couple of different varieties of milkweeds, and some beautyberries. And in back there by the trellis, there's elderberry. So he's trying to see if he can get the elderberries to grow out here in the edge of the forest. And more. There's a beautyberry, milkweed. So this is all of our kind of our pollinator area. All right, I'm going to walk fast around here and show you the vegetable garden. Bruce planted, I'll go in the barn and show you the little Keats too. So Bruce's vegetable garden is going pretty good. The squash bugs haven't found the zucchini yet, so that's good news. We may get some zucchini this year. So we'll talk real softly. See if we can catch a photo of the little babies. Let's see, oh, the little babies. Little babies. They're running away. But we'll talk real quietly. You can see them running around back there. I'll go up closer. It'll focus through the wire. Oh, there we go. There's the babies. They're very shy, which is where they should be. And they're so cute. They don't squawk yet. They just go beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. So we have a dozen, and we have 3 that are, I think, 3 or 4 years old. So hopefully they'll teach them the ropes, keep them away from the foxes for a while. All right, into the vegetable garden. Blackberries are doing well. Got lots of blackberries set. I think after a couple years we finally figured out how to prune a blackberry for better yield, happier plant. Just the usual. I mean, some zucchini and tomatoes. This is the swamp hibiscus. It's the saucer hibiscus, you know, the one that gets like the blooms are a foot across. So that, a couple of years, the beetles ate the plant and we didn't get many blooms. But this year, I think we're going to get some blooms. Bruce planted beets. So we hope to get some beets. This is our zucchini, which again, fingers crossed, we get some zucchini this year. Tomatoes. Our 2 hydrangeas. One of them was from your garden, Peggy. And the other one was one we bought for this property. We got to keep them in here where the deer won't eat them. And the parsley. And blueberries. Ooh, a sausage. A bloom. Yay. Hopefully the bumblebees and the bees will find our squash to pollinate them. Sometimes we get very low pollination rates. And those big things in back, those are our elderberries getting ready to bloom. You can see how big the heads are. I can't reach up there, so we'll show you a smaller one. But this will get, this elderberry head will get 4 times this size when it swells up. The blossoms all bloom. A little bit of kale and lettuce left or still there before the heat gets it and it bolts. And the blueberries, yay! We always have blueberries by June. So let's see, you can see some of them come on earlier. This plant in front here comes on earlier. So you can see how many nice blueberries we've got on that. There's just nothing like the fresh blueberries. So, very happy with that. Okay, now we'll walk up to the front yard. Oh, and I love my lamb's ear. It took about 3 years for this to take off. So, another bee plant that the bees love. I don't know how many varieties of bees we have, but we have several varieties of bumblebees. We've got the one that likes to burrow in the ground, and the one that likes to burrow in wood. So I think we have about 4 varieties of bumblebees, at least. And let's take a quick walk. You have to see the 2 perennials that Bruce loves that are giants. Oh, my Caracalla bean. So this is that beautiful blooming bean that are in one of the 2 horse troughs. So let's see if you can see it. It's tiny, but it's growing. We grew it from seed. We were so happy to see it sprout. We nursed it all winter, and it's planted. It seems to be growing. So we can't wait to see those blooms, because it is gorgeous. So walking back up to the, let's see, south side of the house, we've got these 2 monster perennials. So this is Joe Pye weed. So it's another native, and it's about 5 feet tall right now, and it'll be 5 to 6 feet tall before it blooms. And the butterflies love it, but you need lots of room. But I'll tell you, the butterflies love this plant, and they also love this. So this is a cup plant. It's a relative of a sunflower, and it blooms heads of these small, like 1.5 to 2 inch daisies in like groups. So it's not the showiest plant, but it'll be covered with butterflies. So, but you got to have the space, because they get 6 feet tall, 3 or 4 feet across, but they are perennials, so they come back every year. There's one of our Siberian iris, which we we got from a ditch. They were about ready to plow it over for construction, so we saved the Siberian iris, and it likes it here. Okay. Back up to the, not too much new in the front yard. The yuccas are, the smaller yuccas are getting ready to bloom. I'll show you that. All the fruit trees have done really well green-wise. We don't get any fruit, either low pollination or the animals eat our fruit. So, but they're pretty trees, so we like that. So here's our yuccas getting ready to bloom. There's one there. And I wish I could stay up all night or find a way. Maybe I'll point the trap camera at the yucca and see if I can catch a bat on the nectar of the yuccas, because I understand they love it. Here's one of our big ones. So this one's about 5 feet tall now. It'll probably be 6 or 7 feet when it blooms. And then this little one, next to St. Francis. And you can see in the background Bruce's smoke tree, which he rescued someplace. And this year it finally took out after like 6 years it's been there. And it's finally really coming into its own. And I have to show you St. Francis. So this video is for Peggy, but it's also from some of Bruce's friends who haven't been here. This is St. Francis. So St. Francis is really special. Here's our fruit trees. The apple, we'll probably never get any apples. Oh, that's the pear. Because we only have one apple. And you need more than one. I must have them confused. Anyway, so we got 2 pears, an apple. Our persimmons are doing well. Those were planted recently. Because our apples, they get cedar rust, being near the forest. And we do have some apples. We get to enjoy looking at them. But before we can pick them, they usually get eaten by the squirrels. So we have very happy squirrels. This pear is so pretty. But again, all the fruit gets eaten by the squirrels. Persimmons are doing well. Looks like we set some fruit on the persimmon. Let's see. See all the flower buds. Oh yeah, I think we have some fruit there. And the berm bed. So this monster, which is about 4 feet high and 12 feet wide, was supposed to be a prostrate rosemary, like the pretty one in the back, but it's not. It's a monster. And this is a salvia, a smaller one. And then we got a couple of new plants in the berm, new perennials. And I have to show you the rosemary. So when we moved in here, the only plant other than forested trees and lawn, the only plant on the property was this rosemary. And it was right where we were going to build the garage. So we had to move it. And other than a fire ant nest, it seems to still be doing okay. And this was our first flower bed, which has kind of gone native. And Bruce got up his signs. So we've got our Guinea Crossing signs. And I think that's the grand tour. That's just about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really green time of year. Warm, but not too hot to get outside. And, oh, Peggy, if you want a dragon orange, we have lots of starts. I think this one grew from one of the starts we had given you from our other garden. And then this one grew into a pretty big tree, and it drops, of course it drops a lot of fruit. It bloomed like crazy this year, and you can see all the fruit on it. So we're going to get lots of starts, and Bruce usually has a couple in pots to give away because it's so interesting. It's dangerous, but it's interesting. So we've got our dragon orange, and another one of our Siberian iris. I think we bought this one. But, oh, there's that one over there. This perennial is cool too. I think it's related. I thought it was related to the lamb's ear, but I'm not sure. And of course we didn't keep the name of it. The flying ants have hatched and they're blowing in all over me. So they're it's really cool. I love the way it blooms. And I guess that's about it. So you don't need to listen to me drone on anymore. So I will go inside, cool off, and wish you a very happy May 15th.